Smells good.
Well, I hope it tastes as good as it smells.
What is it?
Mama calls it old country stew. It's Luis's favorite.
How's he doing?
Not good.
So you're going to cheer him up with a nice home-cooked family dinner? That's so sweet.
Yeah.
You know, if anything can make him feel better after Sheridan's funeral, it's being around his family.
That's not the only reason.
What? Oh, please don't tell me this is about Ethan.
Whitney, I am in the middle of a crisis, and I have to do something.
What crisis now?
I have to tell Luis about Ethan and me.
What? You were going to drop a bomb like that on Luis today?
Yes, I have to. The sooner I tell Luis, the better. You know, all of my life I've heard Luis talk about honesty and honor. And Luis is honorable and honest, so I have to be. I have to be the first person to tell Luis about Ethan and me before he hears it from somebody else.
Do you know that you are way off here, Theresa? Luis is never going to accept you dating a Crane.
Whitney, why? I'm cooking a wonderful dinner, and I set up the whole house with pictures of Luis and me.
You know, I know exactly what you're doing. And you can play nice with Luis all you want, but it's not going to work.
Whitney, I also put together a cassette of all our old family videotapes, and I'll show it to Luis, and it'll remind him of how close we have always been.
Why are you not getting this, Theresa?
Whitney, when Luis and I were younger, he always told me that he wanted me to marry Prince Charming and live happily ever after.
Theresa, but this is Prince Ethan. Crane. Luis hates the Cranes.
It doesn't matter what his last name is. All that matters is that we love each other, and we always will.
Okay, all right, fine. Let's just say you get Luis's okay.
I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to get his blessing.
Okay, well, even if you do, he is not the only obstacle that you have to overcome, Theresa. The Cranes are all against you. Not one of them wants you to marry Ethan.
Well, I'll change their minds.
You are dreaming, Theresa. And what about the Hotchkiss women? Gwen and Rebecca are going to do anything to make sure that you don't even get near Ethan.
Well, let them try. I mean, I know Ethan loves me. He does.
You know, your head is so far in the clouds. You are so far away from reality.
Whitney, I am in love. That's the reality.
Rebecca Hotchkiss is a shark. She won't let anything or anyone prevent her daughter from marrying Ethan Crane. You actually think this is going to work, Theresa? By reminding him of all these sweet, fun times you guys had when you were younger, he's suddenly going to accept you and Ethan? Luis hates the Cranes. He blames them for your father's disappearance.
Whitney, I know...
No, no memory, no memento, no picture is going to make Luis give you and Ethan his blessing.
Whitney, fate has brought me and Ethan this far, and fate will see us all the way through.
Have you ever thought that maybe, fate works both ways? That maybe right now, your fate is in the hands of someone that doesn't necessarily want the best for you. In the hands of your enemy.
There. Everything's perfect.
Nothing is perfect, Theresa. Don't you remember when your brother told you if you ever had anything to do with Ethan Crane, that he would cut himself off from you forever?
Yes, but that was before. When I tell Luis how much we love each other, well, he'll understand that we have to be together.
You are just dreaming, Theresa. What do you think would happen if I told my parents that I got mixed up with Chad? They would disown me. I would hurt my family terribly. Is that what you want? That's what's going to happen when you tell Luis. Do you want to tear your family apart, Theresa? And you don't do this. Think of your family, how they're going to suffer.
Whitney, you're my best friend. You should be thinking positive.
Well, at least I am thinking, okay? You are all over the place.
I'm in love.
And that excuses everything.
Whitney, I don't need any excuses. All I need is Ethan.
You need to just let that go. Look, these are the people that you can count on, Theresa.
And I will always count on them.
Is that why you're willing to risk everything for Ethan Crane? A man who hasn't even decided whether he loves you enough to marry you.
But he will, and he does. You'll see, Whitney.
Is that why he chose you to go to the funeral with him? No, he chose Gwen. He's probably still with her right now.
You sound like that's what you want.
What I'm trying to do is trying to get you to realize what's at stake here, Theresa. Look, you're going to choose between your loving family and rolling the dice on a guy who hasn't even said he wants to marry you. You are willing to trade your family on one huge what if.
It doesn't have to be that way.
You know what? I'm all out of arguments here. I just think this is really sad. It's so sad that you're willing to hurt your mother and your brother, the people that really love you, on a guy who doesn't even know what he wants.
Whitney, the trouble with you is you worry too much.
Yeah, well, maybe you don't worry enough.
Like I said, it's all in the presentation. As long as Luis hears it from me first, as long as I'm the one to tell Luis before he hears it from anybody else, it'll be okay.
You are completely delusional.
I'll be able to persuade Luis that Ethan and I are in love.
Yeah, well, maybe you better persuade Ethan first.
You're not going to talk me out of this, Whitney. I'm going to tell Luis tonight. And when he finds out, he's going to be so happy for me. Happy that I have found my Prince Charming. It's going to be great. As long as I tell Luis first and he doesn't hear it from anybody else, everything will work out perfectly.